The success of an assailant's attack depends on surprise, and if you're sufficiently alert to prevent a surprise, your counterattack is already halfway to being successful. A Kung Fu man lives without being dependent on the opinions of others, and a master, unlike the beginner, holds himself in reserve. He is quiet and unassuming, with no desire to show off. To be bound by traditional martial art style or styles is the way of the mindless, enslaved martial artist. But to be inspired by the traditional martial art and to achieve further heights is the way of genius. Truth comes when your mind and heart are purged of all sense of striving, and you are no longer trying to become somebody. It is there when the mind is very quiet, listening timelessly to everything. Love is like a friendship caught on fire. Unfortunately, now in boxing, people are only allowed to punch. In judo, people are only allowed to throw. I do not despise these kinds of martial arts. What I mean is, we now find rigid forms, which create differences among clans, and the world of martial art is shattered as a result. What is more important than what should be. Relationship is the mirror in which you discover yourself. To be is to be related. Circumstances hell. I make circumstances. All martial arts is simply an honest expression of one's body, with a lot of deception in between. I've come to understand that life is best lived, not conceptualized. Training is one of the most neglected phases of athletics. Too much time is given to the development of skill, and too little to the development of the individual for participation. Prosperity is apt to prevent us from examining our conduct, but adversity leads us to think properly of our state, and so is beneficial to us. To see is to be deceived, to hear is to be lied to feel is to believe. To be what I term a quality human being, one has to be transparently real and have the courage to be what he is. The best form of endurance exercise is the performance of the event. Understand your limitations and capitalize on them. I hope martial artists are more interested in the root of martial arts and not the different decorative branches, flowers, or leaves. It is futile to argue as to which leaf, which design of branches, or which attractive flower you like. When you understand the root, you understand all its blossoming. Don't indulge in any unnecessary, sophisticated moves. More and more, I believe in the fact that you have 2 hands and 2 legs, and the thing is how to make good use of yourself, and that's about it. Linda and I aren't one in one. We are 2 halves that make a whole. 2 halves fitted together are more efficient than either half would ever be alone. Knowledge, surely, is always of time, whereas knowing is not of time. Knowledge is from a source, from accumulation, from conclusion, while knowing is a movement. Let yourself go with disease, be with it, and keep it company. This is the way to be rid of it. An instructor should exemplify the things he seeks to teach. It will be of great advantage if you yourself can do all you ask of your students and more. To be certain, every day there can be a revelation or a new discovery. For something that is static, fixed, dead, there can be a way or a definite path, but not for anything that is moving and living. Through my own observations, I am convinced that an absolutely honest and direct inquiry into oneself will lead to understanding. What can you take from me, which is not already yours? A good fighter must sense, rather than perceive his chance to strike. Take inventory of everyone with whom you have contact. The aim of art is to project an inner vision into the world. We have more faith in what we imitate than in what we create. The more relaxed the muscles are, the more energy can flow through the body. Using muscular tensions to try to do the punch, or attempting to use brute force to knock someone over, will only work to opposite effect. If there is always light, you don't experience light anymore. You have to have the rhythm of light and darkness. The three most difficult things in life are: 1. To keep a secret. 2. To forget an injury. 3. To make good use of leisure. If people say Jeet Kune Do is different from this or from that, then let the name of Jeet Kune Do be wiped out, for that is what it is, just a name. Please don't fuss over it. To tolerate is to insult. The martial arts are ultimately self-knowledge. A punch or a kick is not to knock the hell out of the guy in front, but to knock the hell out of your ego, your fear, or your hang-ups. Give up thinking as though not giving it up. Observe techniques as though not observing. Have no rigid system in you, and you'll be flexible to change with the ever-changing. The core of understanding lies in the individual mind, and until that is touched, everything is uncertain and superficial. Truth cannot be perceived until we come to fully understand our potential and ourselves. After all, knowledge in the martial arts ultimately means self-knowledge. The world is full of people who are determined to be somebody or to give trouble. They want to get ahead, to stand out. Such ambition has no use for a gun fu man who rejects all forms of self-assertiveness and competition. Since weight training involves repetitions, a great deal of energy must be exerted. Therefore, weight training should be practiced only every other day. when you fight, if it is a real fight, use every tool that you have. Use your whole body. Use your fists, your legs, your fingers, your head if you have to, and hit them in every vulnerable spot, the balls, the eyes, etc., to win. I have come to understand that life is best to be lived and not to be conceptualized. I am happy because I am growing daily, and I am honestly not knowing where the limit lies. True observation begins when devoid of set patterns. Freedom of expression occurs when one is beyond system.